If you hear keyboard clickety clacking, my boyfriend's right across from me playing Elden Ring like a nerd. Nerd. You're a nerd. I'm kidding. I love him lots. Welcome to my reading room. It's been a while. It's been quite a while, hasn't it? I thought for my late and arduous, I used that word right, return, I thought I would return with my summer reading list. Is this all of them? No. But are we going to see if it gets done in 2 months? Sure. I think it's actually technically 3, but I always think that fall starts in August. Like 1st of August, it's automatically fall. It's no longer summer. Oh, a new bombshell has just entered the villa. Look at her. This is Moomers. She's one of my 4 babies. I just wanted to say hi. I'm going to put her over here so she doesn't like the microphone because that would be embarrassing. So today, I'm going to cover the basis of what I'm reading this summer and what you might be seeing as time moves on, right? So first we're going to start with current reads. I have it up there. It's this one, but I don't feel like pulling it down. I'm currently reading A Shadow in the Ember by Jennifer L. Armentrout. And I will say, I was really enjoying it at first, but it just started to drag a little bit. And not drag, it's more like it just wasn't piquing my interest the same way it was when I first started reading it. I had it on my shelf, but I just decided to download it on my Kindle from the library. And then my library hold expired, which it still wasn't super capturing. Like I was really enjoying it as I first read it. But I had already been kind of struggling with a little bit of a reading slump. Like in spring, I think I only read, out of the 3 months of spring, I only read like 11, maybe 12 books total. That was just very surprising for me because it's not something that normally happens in general. Shadow in the Ember is basically just like gods and sacrifices, you know, it's a whole world and stuff. It's a romantasy, and honestly, it's been out for years at this point. So if you haven't heard about it, I don't know what, I can't really tell you much, to be honest, but I know it's just supposed to be one of those fun little light steamy reads that has a little bit of extra world building sprinkle in there, which is kind of what I wanted at the moment to kind of break me out of that reading slump. And then it put me into a little bit more of a slump because I couldn't get through it. I was reading a ton of arcs at that point as well, so that also has probably a little bit to do with it, is that, you know, just writing not being very good, or, you know, stories just not keeping me. It feels like I'm reading the same thing over and over and over again. So I decided that for the summer, I'm going to pick up some very interesting reads. And I'm already in the middle of one of them because I did put that one on pause because I was just like, it's not going to happen. Move on for now. We can always come back to it and finish it off with maybe an audiobook or something later. I now work 2 jobs. One of them is Barnes & Noble, and the other one's a newspaper, if you care. That being said, I get a really good discount at Barnes & Noble, obviously, for working there. And I also saw that we had gotten the paperbacks of The Will and the Many by James Islington. I think it's Islington. So obviously I had to snatched it up pretty much immediately after I saw it. And so this is what I have been reading for the past 3 days, and I have been, I mean, nonstop. I've been glued to this corner. I haven't gone anywhere else. I mean, she's pretty thick. I think total, it's definitely about 100 pages, or yes, it's definitely about 100 pages. Well, you know what? Actually, I think it might be more. Nearly 700 pages. It's 684 pages. And I am on page 482. Is that longer than usual? Yes. But do you see all those blue tabs and green? That is, and you see how concentrated they are in this section? There is so much information in this book. You have no idea. Like it's never taken me that long to read a book before. I've just been like digesting it, and I mean, I've literally been just like highlighting. I've been going crazy on this book. I think the first few pages, there was just so much information to dissect, which the author does a really good job of leading the reader through. But even page one literally has a tab, if that helps you understand what I've been going through. But you can see how much I've been tabbing up already. I'm on part 3, which look, I just got these and I'm already out of 2 colors. I've had to switch over and having to use a different tabby thing because I've just been tabbing so much, and there's so much information, so much to dissect. So this has been absolutely fantastic, spectacular. I didn't really know anything about it going in. I literally even watched Plant-Based Bride do a kind of like reading vlog of this, like a review of it. And I didn't retain any of it, to be completely honest. Like I retained little bits and bobs. Like I remember how she felt, but I didn't retain anything about the story in particular. So going into this, I was like kind of completely blind, besides the like 1 or 2 things that she had a problem with. Reading the story, and I will say some of it I agree with and some of it I don't. This is essentially we are dropped into this fantastical world, and it's very much like Roman inspired. It's like if Greek mythology, Harry Potter, and The Secret History had a baby. Crazy combination, I know, but it works so well. Nobody has talked about the fact that it's very dark academia-esque. Like, a majority, like, yes, a majority of the chunk is not in academia, but then I honestly want to say about the rest of it is like this is probably not academia, and then the rest of it is academia. So I'm so confused as to why at least I haven't heard it been described as an academia book. It's very like politically structured. Like there is so much detail that goes into it. So definitely a true medium pace for the way that the writing style is, because it feels like things are going slow, but there's so much happening. Like it actually feels like it's moving so fast at the same time. Like it feels like I've read like hundreds and hundreds of pages, but at the same time I've only read like maybe 50. So it's very interesting. I have been absolutely glued to it. It's so good, so delicious. And if that's something that interests you, definitely more political roundtable, spies, mystery, dark academia, if that, and like such an interesting and intricate world and magic system. If this is something that interests you, I just highly, highly recommend it. But that's just because that's what I'm currently reading. Now getting into the things I will actually read, I wanted to do more of like a little update. I have this list set in order of things that I like in the way that I'm probably going to end up reading them. Not like what I'm most excited for. Okay. I actually have a lot more YA than I thought, but I think I have an even blend of like YA and adult. So this is like the actual stack of what I'll be reading this summer. And first, to start us off, is definitely going to be Allie Hazelwood. She just released this. The Queen, the Myth, the Legend, Problematic Summer Romance. Obviously, this is perfect. Hello, do I have to say anything else? I think after I'm done with this, I'm going to jump right into this, even though the next book that I'm going to talk about is a little bit more pressing. I do have to read that one pretty quickly, but I think this will be a good palate cleanser so that I'm ready for the next book, because I'm almost positive 199 a million thousand gajillion percent that this is going to absolutely wreck me, ruin me. I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't even want to think about it. I'm already on part 3. Like I'm 75% of the way through with it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I'm so nervous. I'm so scared, and it's such a behemoth, as the author likes to repeat many times, but it's still so good. I think I've counted like 5 different behemoths in the entire book, and I'm just like, guys, okay, we need to open the thesaurus. All right, thank you. I don't even really know what this is about. Like I know a little bit from whenever I was buying it, my friend was there with me, and she read the cover and she was like, "Oh," and I'm like, okay. So I'm going to assume that it's something that's probably not up my alley, but just because we have different tastes. But some of the things that we like are kind of alike, so it all just depends, really. So this is about Maya and Connor. Maya is 23 and figuring out her life, and Connor is 38. Math? That's a 15-year age gap. Well, Maya cannot stop thinking about Connor. And he's a biotech guy and she's a grad student, you know, the usual. I'm glad I didn't read Deep End because I didn't think I'd like it, because I really liked her interconnected standalone series that she did with all of like, you know, the different scientists and stuff like that. I really like that. I haven't read Bride. It's sitting right back there. It's technically one of the books that I want to read this summer, but we'll see if I even get around to that. I'm interested to see how she handles age gap. I think she's like done a little bit of a gap before, but this is definitely like her biggest gap. It's also set in Italy, which is one of my favorite places ever in the whole entire world. If you want to see me go to Italy, you can look at my other video on my channel, because I did go to Italy and I did vlog that experience, and you can go see it. Essentially, she really likes the older man, and marriage, probably like kind of unhoneymooners type situation is what I'm getting from this. Romantic Sicilian villa. I actually didn't go to Sicily. I really want to go to Sicily, but the accent kind of scares me a little bit sometimes. Like, I can understand Italian to an extent, and also like speak it to an extent, because I did take Italian classes, and on top of that, like, my first language is Spanish, so it's a little easier for me to interpret and understand, and Italians vice versa. But Sicilians are a whole different breed. But I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of excited. I have to read Not in Love and Bride, and then this one. I honestly don't think I'm ever going to get to Deep End. I don't think Deep End's going to be something that I like. If you think I'd like it, try and prove me wrong, okay? Please do, because it kills me inside, but I just don't think that's something I'm going to like. Like sports romances in general, I'm already not kind of like into that much. And if I am into sports romances, it's usually like football or hockey, maybe sprinkle in a little basketball occasionally, but even then, some of them I haven't really liked. And the book looked a little chunky. Like, it looked a little chunkier than her other ones. So I was just like, I feel like it's gonna have too much description of swimming, and I don't really find the sport interesting. As a person who literally works in sports for the newspaper, don't like sports. I'm kidding. I like my job. Please don't fire me. Now, the next one that I have to read this summer, which actually I probably have to read by the end of June, is going to be The Children on the Hill. Now, I'm doing this buddy read challenge thing that I came up with, which honestly probably isn't original, and I probably heard it from somewhere, but it felt original to me, so I'm going to leave it at that. I pick out a book that I've been wanting to read and I haven't read before, and then my friend, she picks out a book that she wants to read but hasn't read before, and then we swap those books. So she reads the book that I want to read first, and I read the book that she wants to read first. We annotate, and then we swap again, and we read them for the first time, and we get to see the other person's reaction as we're reading them for the first time. So I thought that was very interesting take on the whole buddy read situation, or also like, annotating something that you've already read before for somebody else to read, kind of thing. I thought it'd be a good blend to kind of like gauge each other's reactions, whether they be good or bad. But apparently she said that she heard that this is super creepy and scary. Certain kinds of horror I like are very like, I do like more of like a gory, gnarlier, like my favorite horror is Mexican Gothic by Sylvia Maria Garcia. So I don't know what that says about me, but I do like kind of like the Sporus. I like A Sentient House as well. I don't like kids though. I think I've mentioned this to her, that I don't like horrors with children in them. Just because I feel like sometimes they can be very like tacky. Like, a lot of times people will use children as like a cop out for certain things. I don't know. So this is set in a dual perspective, but it was really described to me as like children being creepy and getting possessed, and then blah, monsters and stuff. It also says it's a psychological thriller. I'm not a thriller person at all. That's like the one I don't touch really. Like, I do like a good horror, and I'm pretty sure this was in the horror section. So I'm hoping this does lead more towards horror rather than psychological fiction or thriller or anything like that, because that's really just not me. So I'm excited to read it because it's something that is more out of my comfort zone. And I think I gave her the Bridge Kingdom, something. I'll put it up here. That's what I gave her, and I'm pretty sure I will be reading that. I just don't have it physically with me, but that's the one I bought for her and for me technically. So I definitely will be reading that one as well. And that one's more of like a romantasy, but the way that it was described to me was it's kind of like An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson, which that is one of my favorite all-time books of all time. Like, I'm not super big into rereading. Like, I will reread, but like that book, genuinely once a month I get the urge to just reread. And so then the next one that I'm going to be reading is Feybound. I don't Oh, I don't really know much, but it's always intrigued me and people have been talking about it. A lot of her books I have been eyeing and wanting to read, and a lot of people have suggested that I go with Feybound first. I'm really interested, and I think this is honestly going to go super well. I'm pretty sure it's like a magical person, like witchy, maybe like diviner of sorts, maybe changeling, I'm not entirely sure. Um and they're trying to make a living, they're kind of living a little bit rogue, and then they're taken to these elven lands, but they have to essentially be in servitude, I believe, for a little bit in order to gain freedom, or save a treaty or something like that. I don't even know, but I've just heard it's really, really good, and I'm super excited. Now, next, this one, of course, y'all know me. All right, you know me. And when a Puerto Rican gets traction, or Puerto Rican does anything that I think can be absolutely spectacular and beneficial, I'm going to pick it up. So, Vanessa Vida Kelly, she wrote When the Tides Held the Moon. Oh, look at that cover. I wonder if she made the cover art, because Kelly is a illustrator, also just renowned artist. If you have been on the internet long enough, you have seen their art for sure. Like there's not a shadow of a doubt that I don't believe you have not seen their art. I have been following them for years, like literally Tumblr days. Tumblr. And I think I was literally scrolling through Tumblr one day, and their Tumblr came up, or it might have been their threads or something. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're releasing a book. And I'm so, so, so excited, because this has been getting a lot of love lately as well. So this is about our main character, Benny. And Benny's a blacksmith in 1930s, 1940s, 1910s, New York City. But he wants to be an artist, even though he kind of knows that it's not really possible, because, he has to withstand a certain standard, and he has to work and things like that. But he still has those dreams. And so he gets commissioned, or I guess propositioned, for this art show. And that's where he meets the merman Rio. When tensions arise in, such a political, tumultuous time, 1910s New York City, on the brink of war. It's a story about finding love in the most unusual of times and of places and of people, or mermen, I guess. So I'm really excited. I think I read like the first chapter, deciding whether or not I should buy it or wait until my copy from the library comes in, and I just couldn't resist, so I bought it. Next, this has been on the list for so long. Everybody has probably already read it by now, I'm almost positive, but the paperback came out, so obviously I had to invest. And what a stunning edition. Like, what do you mean? The cover art is so good. I've wanted to read this so bad. I feel like this is the closest I'm going to get to like reading a certain kind of Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. If you can't tell, Margaret Rogerson is very well loved in this household. All right, Margaret, if you're out there, I know you're being held hostage. Please, please release another book. Please, I'm begging you. Our main character believes in fairy tales, and she's crumbling under her first term at college, which I can so relate. And I feel like that's gonna hit a little too hard for me. She can't really like tell what's fact and fiction, and then she's also investigating this fraudulent author, and she's trying to find evidence that the author is not exactly fraudulent. Like I said, I haven't read any of these books, so I could be completely wrong, but we'll see. So excited for this! I can't wait. Next is another one that a lot of people have read, and I just haven't gone around to it yet, is This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Mafi. I've never, ever, ever been interested in Shatter Me. I don't think anybody could ever get me interested in Shatter Me. I've already been spoiled for all of it, because I watched witty novels, and it's never intrigued me. I don't like dystopian, so it's not like that sounds so awful to say. I do like dystopian, but I'm very picky with my dystopian, and I would prefer if it was a fantastical world with dystopian elements, rather than a dystopian in our like urban, or a modernization, or a modern world that is fully dystopian. So that is my little take on that. Call it a hot take, whatever. It's not for me. I don't like trials either. That's another thing. I'm not a big trials person. I'm a terrible test taker, so I just don't feel like it's necessary. This Woven Kingdom, I've always been interested by Tara Mafi, the craze around her, and I'm so interested. I'm so invested. I can't wait to read this. And it's a Persian mythology inspired political roundtable kingdom. I believe it's enemies to lovers. This author tends to write enemies to lovers. I believe there's a little bit of found family in this as well. And this has been sitting on my shelf for a while to read, so I'm definitely going to pick that up as soon as possible to get this ginormous TBR down. Not all of these are TBRs, obviously, of course, but I do have quite a few on here that do need to be read as soon as possible. Last but not least of my mandatory reading list, because we all know that a lot more are going to get read this summer with low stress going on at the current moment, is Realmbreaker by Victoria Aveyard. This is in preparation for Tempest that's coming out maybe 2026 or 2027. We don't know yet. Victoria doesn't even know yet. So Victoria just finished the rough draft. So this is going to be, I think it's found family. There's a squire, an immortal, an assassin, a pirate's daughter, and I think they have to come together to save the world that they have, or the world that they're in. So it feels very medieval, squire, dueling, things like that, and I'm like kind of in the mood for it. Very Joan of Arc is what reminded me of. And I'm so in the mood for that. I mean, who doesn't love this woman? Hello, like, she's wonderful. So those are all the books that are on my summer ASAP must get done, please don't deviate list. And definitely let me know what you think. I'm really excited to get through this behemoth of a book. I'm so close yet so far. It feels literally so far. And I'm just so excited. It's so good. The fact that more people have recommended this is insane to me. You'll definitely probably see my thoughts in the next video, because the next video will be kind of my anticipated releases of the year. This is gonna be the next one. Stick around if you want to see my reaction and my thoughts and feelings by the end of this, because next video is going to be rough. We've got a lot of new fun releases, a lot of new bombshells in the villa, you could say. Thank you so much for sticking around with me today, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.